Okay, let's unpack this because we are looking at staggering family secrets, weaponized guilt, and a high-stakes rescue mission. So where do we start?
We start with Father Ignacio.
Right, he's reading from the book of Jeremiah, right?
Yes, and it's all about repentance and suffering. And the camera's just completely locked on Tita.
Oh man, she is just drowning in guilt over her night with Pedro.
Yeah.
You can see every word landing on her like a physical blow.
Yeah, the theology here is that fault can only be cleansed through immense suffering. And what's fascinating here is Tita's failed attempt to use the confessional right after.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
She simply can't face it yet. The weight is just too heavy.
Which perfectly sets up that fight with Pedro because
Yeah,
she's carrying
exactly.
all this internalized guilt and Pedro just like corners her.
Yeah, he tells her to stop pretending it didn't happen.
And he admits marrying Rosaura was his biggest mistake.
But he is projecting
Mhm.
cowardice and regret onto her future choices.
Mm,
I mean, he wants her to remain trapped in the same emotional purgatory he occupies.
so true. And it is incredibly refreshing to see Tita finally clap back and reject that dynamic.
Right.
She tells him that the next time he loves someone, he should actually do something for them.
It's such a great reality check for him.
Yes. And, while Pedro has no plan, Rosaura definitely does.
Oh, Rosaura always has a plan.
Always. She privately summons Father Ignacio to the ranch to lock in the wedding timeline.
He explains this thing called the warning record.
Right, the official church protocol.
Yeah, this strict protocol requiring a 1-month wait for community objections. But Rosaura fundamentally rejects this timeline.
Right. So what does she do?
She literally bribes the priest. She promises him hot chocolate and Day of the Dead bread to expedite a supposedly unbreakable religious sacrament.
Exactly. And Rosaura is setting up the ofrenda with marigolds, placing Elena's picture at the center, while notably excluding Robertito, which is just a fresh cruelty.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then Gertrudis returns
Yes, and with a baby boy.
because Juan didn't believe the child was his, which is just awful.
And Rosaura immediately tries to banish her. She cites Gertrudis' rebel status.
Yes. But Tita completely overrules her. She declares Gertrudis is staying.
And Gertrudis' return isn't just family drama. She brings crucial intel.
Right, about the revolution.
Exactly. She reveals that the real rebels aren't the ones attacking the ranches.
Which leads to Felipe's operation getting exposed. Pedro rescues that laborer, Emilio Santos de la Cruz, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And Pedro uncovers that Felipe is running a war profiteering operation.
Faking Ballista attacks, stealing goat furs, and selling them to Americans in exchange for rebel intel. It's so corrupt.
Yeah, exactly.
But while Pedro is doing that, Tita decides to share a massive secret.
The box.
Yes, the hidden letters and the photograph of José Treviño that Tita found after their mother's death.
Which completely shatters the foundational illusions of their entire family.
It changes everything.
Gertrudis learns the massive twist. She is the product of Elena's secret affair.
Right. And Gertrudis' initial reaction is almost to laugh at the absurdity of it. She wants to go rub it in Rosaura's face that their saintly mother was a fraud. And in response to this, Tita voices a fear that just chills the room. She hints that she fears she might actually be worse than Elena.
That is so dark.
That her secret is even more unforgivable. It just hangs in the air.
Yep.
And all this guilt leads Tita to finally enter the confessional.
Right.
She admits to the priest that she gave in to temptation with the man she has loved since childhood.
But instead of the priest's comfort, she gets Elena's ghost.
Right. Calling Tita a hypocrite and saying she enjoyed the sin.
It's terrifying.
Either way, the haunting follows her home.
Right.
So later that night, the ghost returns to Tita's room. Tita
Right.
has an incredibly vivid dream where she is finally with Pedro, only for the fantasy to be violently interrupted by Elena's guilt-tripping ghost.
It's a nightmare. And we have to be clear here. This is weaponized guilt. It's Tita's own trauma wearing a familiar face to keep her in line.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
She instinctually touches her breast, which is the very first time we get the suspicion that Tita might be pregnant.
The secret is materializing. And as her internal world reaches a boiling point, she is tasked with preparing the pan de muerto for the Day of the Dead dinner.
The sensory details of this preparation are stunning, but deeply unsettling.
So vivid.
And while this emotionally loaded bread is baking, Father Ignacio arrives to formally review the warning record for the wedding.
He sits down with Rosaura and Pedro as the heads of the family. The tension in that room is just suffocating.
He announces that the agonizing 1-month period has passed. There are no formal objections from the community. The wedding between Tita and John is cleared to proceed.
Exactly.
But then we get to the dinner of faults.
Right.
Tita's overwhelming guilt and fear have just soaked into the bread.
It's the climax of the episode.
Right. Instead of food bringing people together, eating this
Seriously.
bread forces every single person at the table to confront their deepest, darkest faults.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really shows the tragedy of Tita's magic.
Yeah, one by one, doors close. Rosaura, Pedro, John, Tita, Gertrudis, even the priest. They all retreat to their rooms in shame.
The magic worked, just not how anyone wanted. It isolated everyone.
So true.
And then we get that quietly devastating scene with John.
The quiet apology. John sincerely apologizes to Tita for his past behavior.
Right.
And you can physically see the safety Tita feels with him. She genuinely admits
Nobody has ever loved her like he does.
she almost confesses her secret to him right there, but she pulls back. It's so heartbreaking.
It is. She's just too scared.
Exactly.
And that hesitation paves the way for the catastrophic final sequence.
It always comes back to the kitchen. Elena's ghost corners Tita one last time, pushing her to her absolute breaking point. The ghost declares that the child in her loins is the fruit of sin.
The psychological pressure is immense. Tita is stumbling back, completely overwhelmed, and she knocks a heavy tray to the floor.
She completely breaks down. Gertrudis rushes in, and Tita confesses she is pregnant with Pedro's child.
And the ultimate kicker.
Rosaura is in the hallway.
Yes, secretly overhearing every single word.
And this brings us to the coming collapse. Looking ahead to episode 5, all these plot lines are set to crash into each other.
The fallout is going to be massive.
Rosaura is demanding Tita lie and marry John to save their reputation. She even threatens to die if Tita chooses Pedro.
We see both John and Pedro telling Tita to do whatever makes her happy. It's an impossible situation.
Well, you guys drop your predictions in the comments. Will Tita tell John the truth? Does Rosaura force her hand? And what on earth will Pedro do when he actually finds out?
I can't wait to see what people think.
Same here. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for our upcoming episode 5 breakdown.
Remember, in this kitchen, the only thing more dangerous than the fire is the truth. See you next time on Off Script.